welcome my friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia. I'm here with Lena and we're going to practice a restorative yin practice today. So take everything that you need. You can already see we have many cushions and pillows and blankets, and I invite you to do the same, to take everything and put it next to your mat so that you have it once you need it. And we're going to start by finding a comfortable seat. Use something to sit on. Use one of your pillows and then find a tall spine. We're going to start by singing a mantra Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. We start with Om together. Take a breath in. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Together. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam. And together. Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Together. Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. 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 If you like, you can join me, the whole mantra together. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Prachodayat. Again. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Prachodayat. One more time. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo devasya dhimai Dhiyo yo na prachodayat Prachodayat Prachodayat. This mantra it's called the Gayatri mantra, and it's a mantra to Savitri, the goddess, and it's a very meditative mantra, so it's very fitting for a slow and restorative class like we're practicing today together. And the translation can go something like this. We meditate on the glory of that being who has produced this universe. May she enlighten our minds. And it's really a mantra of light. So may this light, may this being that is light bring light towards us just by reflecting upon it, upon that light within the whole universe, within space, within us. And may this light bring realization, bring inner light. And that realization is that we are part of that universe, and that universe is part of us. And there's an interconnectedness and interdependence. And that interdependence that realization of the interdependence can let our compassion grow. Compassion for beings in all the spaces. So it's a very beautiful mantra to reflect upon. We're going to stay for a little longer in that stillness of your seat. And just letting these words that we were singing together, the meaning of the words. We're meditating upon that being that has created the universe. Doesn't mean it's one being, it's about that light that is within everything. And may that light be bestowed upon us to enlighten our minds, our hearts, for compassion to grow, for kindness to grow within, to ourselves, towards others. going to start our yin practice. Gently open your eyes. Come back into that space, but keep that contemplative energy and move very slowly out of your seat and onto your belly. Take your time to move slowly. Laying down onto your abdomen, extending the legs behind you, and come onto your forearms. So we're going to come into Sphinx pose for right now. If you want to take a bolster or a rolled up blanket underneath your belly, underneath your chest, where your solar plexus is, you can do that. Lena is going to demonstrate it. If you want to keep your elbows as they are and nothing underneath you, that's also fine. And then just sink it down into your shoulders. So give weight down into your shoulders and relax your head forward. Let the head sink down. If you want to take a block underneath your head, that's a possibility. So you're resting your head on something. Or you just let it hang in the air. We're going to stay for a little longer in these poses, so make sure that you're not 100% in those spaces yet. In these restorative practices, we want to just go 70%. That's enough. Time is going to do the rest. Trust me. So don't go too much, too deep, too fast. Be kind to yourself. And also take this time to learn about yourself. Where is my 70%? If you realize in between you went too deep, you can always come out a little bit. Maybe you take something to support you, a blanket or a pillow, that brings you back to that 70%. In the Yoga Sutras, we can find this word ahimsa, non-violence. And all that it is compassion and kindness, understanding towards ourselves and to the world. And it's not exclusively one or the other, it's always both. And sometimes we're very good at one or the other, but don't realize until it's maybe a little bit late that one of them was lacking, that the kindness to ourselves was missing, or that the kindness to the others went astray. And it's not that it's either there or not. It's practice. Just like everything is, it's practice. And yoga, reflection, meditation, there are many, many practices that can lead us to the idea and to the experience of kindness and compassion, to ahimsa, non-violence. You can stay like this if your head feels good right here, or for the last minute you can also bring your head back and rest your head on that little podest in between your shoulders, your neck. And gently release the elbows to the side. If you have something underneath your belly, take it out. Resting one cheek on your hands, lay down onto your belly. Rest your head. Take a few breaths. This non-violence is, the idea of it is not harming in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions. And also here sometimes we're very good in one, but the other is missing. Sometimes we're very good in acting very kindly, compassionately, but thinking in a not so kind way, or speaking in a not so kind way. And that may be to ourselves, or it may be to others. Feel the rebound, your whole body slowing down, your nervous system slowing down. And bring your gaze, or keep your gaze at that side where it is, resting on your hand, and whichever side it is, that knee, pull it up and towards your top corner of the mat. So it's a half frog. We're sinking down into the hip now. The first step of creating ahimsa, non-harming, non-violence within our lives is by looking with clear eyes, with open eyes, at the way our actions impact others and ourselves. That means that we're reflecting on ourselves deeply, with clarity, with honesty, humility. We can start by trying to reduce the harm we're creating in the most outward ways in our lives. the harm created by action. This too is a practice and implies returning again and again to the same action with intention and consistency. Coming back again and again, and each time taking a close look. Come onto your elbows, keep your knee where it is. We're going to come into a twist. So that side where your knee is not up, bring it underneath the other arm. Slide it underneath, other side, yes. And then bring the top arm all the way over and across into a twist. All the way over and across, all the way over and across. Yes. Good. Come into a twist. And maybe you bring your gaze all the way over and across to that hand. So this practice implies returning again and again to the same action with intention and consistency. But it does not imply perfection. It doesn't mean we have to be perfect the second time we look, but we have to look. That's the practice, and that's the practice of yoga. Looking, taking a closer look, seeing what's there each time we return. It does not imply perfection, but the willingness to apply effort and persistence until we're able to create that new way of acting, that kind way of acting, that compassionate way of acting. And I think we all know instinctively that where we're acting from, whenever we're acting, if we look at it, we get a feeling for it. It's not something that is put into words or needs to be put into words. It's just we know where it came from, within. If it was an act of kindness and truth, authentic, or if it was from a place of jealousy or anger. And slowly come out of that twist again. Bring the arm back, the leg back, and come to lay on your belly. And bring your gaze towards the other elbow. Rest here for a moment before we move on to the next side. And using these moments of stillness, these practices of stillness to reflect, to come back again and again. For the other side, bring your knee up towards your elbow. For that half rock, Make yourself comfortable. And in that reflection, in that looking, in that practice of yoga, comfort is secondary. Being uncomfortable is part of the whole thing. Looking at our selves in a mirror, our actions in a mirror, sometimes it can be uncomfortable. But only if we see and if we really look at these actions and come back to them again and see again, we're able to change them. If we always close our eyes and just move on to the next, then we're never uncomfortable, but we're also not acting from that truth. From kindness. We're going to come into the twist again from here. So make your way onto your elbows, slide the opposite arm underneath, and bring that arm all the way across into your twist. Maybe your gaze goes there as well. So we have to be willing to be uncomfortable. We have to be open to go against the grain of our habits, of our immediate desires, conditioned actions. If we want to make this world that we live in and our world a place of kindness and compassion and of love. And then after some time that giving up of actions that might be harmful, of the reactions that might be harmful, doesn't feel like a restraint anymore. It will feel more natural, something that we want to do because we can see the effect of our actions. Because every action has an effect, every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. Very slowly come out of your twist. Come back onto your belly, extend both legs back. Bring the forehead down. Stay in the middle or bring the gaze to the opposite side for a moment. We're going to come into child pose and stay here for a moment. So press your hands down. Come into child pose. You can bring your knees wider apart if that's something you would like to do. And take anything and everything in front of you, a bolster, blanket, cushions to lay on, or maybe you just rest your head down on the floor. And once you're comfortable, relax into it. You're 70%. Being kind to yourself. Compassionate with your body. Compassionate with your actions and words and thoughts. Ahimsa is not only a practice outwards, it's most of all the practice inwardly. The practice of creating love and joy within and realizing that our actions, our words, and our thoughts are creating this or the opposite in our everyday lives. And once we realize we can create that love and joy and upliftment in the world, ahimsa transforms from a restraint into an offering, into an expansion of our being. Julia Butterfly Hill says, ahimsa is to live so fully and presently in love that there is no room for anything else to exist. Creating actions, saying words, thinking thoughts from that place of love and kindness and compassion is the only place that is so expansive. There is no room for anything else. Everything else will just it won't go through these layers of love and kindness. It will just stay there, and we can see it and we can feel it, but it will never stay. It will always move through, move on. Slowly lift up to sit. And come to sit on your buttocks. You're going to come into a actually just stay seated for a moment. You can just arrive here, whatever seat is comfortable for you, and take a moment to breathe, to arrive. And from here we're going to move into a Tadasana. So move your feet forward and open your knees to the side. Make sure you have a lot of space in your knees, so 90-degree angle. If you like, you can take pillows on your feet or in between your legs. If it's possible for you, you can fold forward and rest your head either in the air or on something. If it feels better to just stay upright, you can use your hands on the floor to kind of support your spine and your seat. We're going to stay here again for a little while, so make sure you're comfortable. So as this practice of ahimsa grows and develops within our beings and our lives, it becomes intertwined with so much more than just nonviolence. It becomes the creation of a joyful and lovable experience. It becomes the practice of saying yes, of allowing beauty into our beings, of opening our hearts, of expanding hearts, and of nurturing. It becomes a practice of understanding what's right for us in this moment, what's the right thing to do, to say, to think, not in a way of right and wrong, but in a way of nurturing us. So what is good for our souls? What is nurturing us in this moment? And we begin to be able to discriminate things that are nurturing and things that are non-nurturing. And this brings us back also to this realization of interconnectedness, of life, not being isolated but intertwined with one another, of that light that lives within everything, within each and every single one of us. We're all in this together. And every action, every word, every thought brings results, not only for us, but for like a rippling effect throughout the world. Just like a butterfly that flaps its wings, and if it wouldn't, the world wouldn't be the same. It would not be able to exist the same way. And so every action, every word we say, every thought we think has that same effect. So may it be kind. May it be compassionate. May it come from love. Slowly roll up to sit again. Take your time. You can bring one hand, the other hand behind you, leaning back onto your hands, and gently placing one foot down, and then the other foot down. Maybe you want to go from side to side like a windshield wiper. And then lay back onto your back. Lay down. Take a moment to just find that rebound. Let your feet fall apart. And then from here, you can roll over one side, slowly coming back, and come into child's pose again. If child's pose is your place to stay, that's a great thing. Make sure your knees are on your mat or on a blanket that is left and right of your mat. We're going to come into the full expression of frog. We prepared our hips and we already did half of it each side. So come into a wide-legged child pose and then bring your hips in line with your knees. Your feet can stay together at the back, and you can bring something underneath your hips to rest on. So make sure you're able to stay here for a little bit. If that's not like it is right now, take something underneath your hips or bring your hips further back towards child's pose. 70%, remember? We're not 100% in. We're kind to ourselves. We're compassionate with our body as it is right now in this moment. In the yogic philosophy and in the Buddhist philosophy, there is this understanding of we cannot alone be happy and free and let the surrounding world suffer in misery. There's this understanding that there's so much worth in creating that compassion and kindness in the world so that not only we can experience the beauty of it, of life, but also every being that we come into contact with, the world around us, not only the humans, but also the animals, the plants, the sky, the ocean, the earth, the air. So creating these compassionate environments by taking care of everything that's in our powers to take care of. Not everything is in our power. We cannot save the world alone. But some things are in our power, and that's the practice. As the understanding what is in our power, where can I create a peaceful and loving relationship. Because everything is interconnected. And in Buddhism, it's one of the highest traits to expand your compassion so wide and far that even though you have realization, full realization, you stay right here because this is where it's needed most. Your compassion, your love, your understanding. Slowly come out of it again. Take your time. Take your time to press the hands down, to move back, to bring your knees together. Good. And then lay down onto your back. We're going to go into Shavasana from here. So take everything that you need. If you want to take something underneath your knees or something on your eyes, feel free to do that. Taking the extra step to make yourself warm and comfortable, knowing that this kindness is worth it. This time, this extra moment is worth being kind to yourself, making sure you're good. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth and exhale. Shavasana. Begin to move your toes and fingers, to move your hands and to move your feet. Maybe you want to extend your arms overhead, find a stretch. Bend your knees, roll onto your right side. And stay here for a moment, just arriving back in this space. And slowly lift up to sit. Find tall spine. Feel like you can bring your hands to your heart. For Om. Shanti. 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 Hare Bow your head down to your heart and to your hands in gratitude for this practice of yoga. Bow forward over your legs. Om Bolo Shri Satguru Bhagavan Ki Jai. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with us today. Thank you, Lena, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for many more videos like this, and comment down below. See you next time. Short break for some self-promotion. If you haven't noticed already, I love playing the harmonium. I have 3 harmonium courses on my website, 2 for different levels and 1 for stepping into your own creative power. If you're interested in learning the harmonium, deepen your knowledge about the mantras that we've been singing together, check out the link down below, and I would love to see you there.